I'm victim, I'm sufferer, Bangladesh is a sufferer, Bangladesh is a loser, because Bangladesh give shelter of more than 1 million Rohingya peoples in Teknaf, and those are come from the Myanmar government operate the atrocity in the Rakhine province, and they evacuated more than 1 million Rohingya peoples. They came to Bangladesh, and Bangladesh give them shelter. And but what about the repatriation process? What is the current situations of Rohingya repatriations? Nothing. So we are, as Bangladesh is sufferer, so as military government is in power, so in Myanmar, so how this problem, how this problem will resolve? Bangladesh belongs to a democratic systems and rules, and how they communicate with the military government, or they maintain the bilateral relationship with military government. So that is the main question. At the beginning of the military government, there was some negotiations between Bangladesh and Myanmar military government. After that, we have seen nothing, and we have not seen any visible steps or measures to repatriations of Rohingya people. So in these situations, I think it's really burden for Bangladesh. As you know, Bangladesh is a small country, but it has a huge population. So how they will take, and also if Bangladesh economically was not solvent enough, Bangladesh will provide foods or economical support to the Rohingya, huge number of Rohingya people. So in these situations, the international community should take the responsibility of Rohingya peoples, and they also should bring the accountability to Myanmar military government, and the international community should give pressure on Myanmar, and they should dispatch the relationship with Myanmar. And in this context, India has a great role, and they should play a vital role to repatriations of Rohingya peoples, because if Rohingya peoples will not repatriate or not back to the Myanmar from Bangladesh, it will be great concern not only for Bangladesh but also the entire region, and it would create some political problems. Meanwhile, Rohingya peoples are trying to enter into the India, Malaysia and Saudi Arabia. Hi viewers, welcome back to my new video. In this video I am going to talk about Myanmar. In this video I will not analyze about the Myanmar political situation or Myanmar crisis. I just trying to give some information about Myanmar or current situation in Myanmar, what is going on in Myanmar. I think all are know about the Myanmar military coup, and they occupied the power illegally, and it's all about 6 months has gone. Some provinces or places in Myanmar, peoples are demonstrating, and they also try to protest the Myanmar military government, but been suppressed by the military, and even the huge number of peoples have been killed. So in this video I will try to give some information about the Myanmar. Actually, military government in Myanmar is not new at all. After the military coup, democratic government led by the Aung San Suu Kyi lost their power, and also detained in a house, then jail. Not only Aung San Suu Kyi but also many other political leaders, particularly in opposition political leaders, in favor of the democratic or in demand of political democratic systems. Huge number of peoples have been protesting in Myanmar. After the military coup, we have heard the huge protest and demonstrations occurred in Myanmar, and people have been killed. According to the information or report by the Human Rights Watch, posed that more than hundreds of people have been killed, and hundreds of thousands of people are wounded. Many people are still disappeared. That is the symptom of autocratic rule, or autocratic or the military rule as well. So in recent times, or 6 months ago, military evacuated or defeated the democratic parties, and illegally they occupied the power. So people's protesting regarding this issue. Now I am going to talk about the problem or crisis in Myanmar, because the whole world are passing through COVID-19 situations or pandemic situations. In these situations, such types of government is not acceptable, and no any situation, under any circumstances or any situations, the military government is not acceptable, because this is not the democratic way. But though it is very common in Myanmar, but after the military coup in Myanmar, the situation or the conditions and day by day, those are protesting, demanding their rights, demanding their fundamental rights. The city students, the political parties, particularly opposition parties, and many other activists have been trying to protest the military government, but military government are trying to suppress their citizens. Several times they impose the curfew across the Myanmar. So, violating the curfews, protesting, people demonstrated in Myanmar, but peoples have been facing the huge atrocity by military government. So today human rights was exposed, that military government doing crime against humanity. The human rights was also accused of military government that they committed crime against humanity. So they should be punished. The international community should give pressure on military government. Before we have seen that many countries imposes huge sanctions and restrictions on Myanmar military government and also military officials. Somehow Myanmar military government have been getting support from China. I think it's unfortunate, and they have also get some support from Russia, because they have a great alliance economically in geographical political systems. Myanmar, China, North Korea, and Russia has a great alliance, and they always committed to support to each other. So that is the main backup and the main support for Myanmar military governments, and that's why they are encourages Myanmar military government are encourages to suppress their own citizens, and they are not willing to lose their power or to hand over the power to the democratic political party, and they are not willing to or interested to arrange free fair elections again. India, China has and all including Russia has a huge investment on Myanmar. Individually they have own interest in Myanmar, and they are taking advantage from Myanmar. United Nations and European Union, America, and many times have taken some initiatives to prevent the military government, or some restrictions and imposes sanctions on military government officials, but no result come out far as possible, as there is a huge conflict between the India and China and United States. So in this political diplomacy, Myanmar military government gets some advantages. Anyone could get advantages, but in these systems, civilians are always suppressed. Peoples or civilians cannot get their facilities. That's why they are showing their demonstrations or